Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to another Gemstone Legends video, and in this video I want to talk about 5 rare heroes that I think might not be on enough people's radar. With games like this that have a summoning aspect, there's always the desire of wanting the legendary heroes, and those are inarguably the best heroes. However, in this game, you can ascend any hero you want to 6 stars. So you don't need legendaries. So what I want to try to do with this video is show you some rare heroes that are definitely worth ascending so that you don't have to wait just to get a legendary hero. There's some really strong heroes that are in this game that are even in the rare category. So we're going to talk about 5 of them here. These are in no particular order, but they're 5 particularly strong heroes that I want to highlight. So if you're using these heroes and are having good luck with them or they're performing well for you, let us know in the comments section down below. And if you have any suggestions that weren't mentioned here, be sure to include those as well. So let's jump into number 1 on the list. So if you haven't tried Gemstone Legends yet, come check it out and play alongside me. It's another really fun and deep strategy RPG like Empires and Puzzles, but with some fun new twists, and a lot of people from Empires and Puzzles have already joined. Not only can you help out the channel by using the download link in the description of this video, but if you enter the code #Spock_2021 in the global chat, you can get a nice starter bonus including gold, gems, gold scrolls, and a free epic hero Elidor, all valued at about 50 bucks. Once you join, you'll also get access to a set of beginner events where you can earn another epic hero Soliana, a 5-star legendary set of equipment, which is what you use to boost the stats and performance of your heroes, and a platinum scroll for another epic or legendary hero in the game. Those links and codes are in the description down below. Just be sure to enter that code in the global chat after finishing the tutorial within 24 hours of downloading the game, and I look forward to seeing you all there. First on the list is Ketra, and as I learn more about this game, I'm kind of reevaluating what my strategies are, and just, new information is changing my approach. And because in this game you can have heroes that attack based on their defense stat, their HP, or their attack, I'm really liking heroes that do damage based on defense or HP, because you want to max that stat as high as you possibly can, which also gives the added benefit of survivability. So heroes that are doing damage based on attack, maxing their attack will make their gemstones more powerful too, but it is sort of nice to gain survivability with increased damage. So that is something that's great about Ketra. Looking at her stats here, her speed is pretty good. Mana gain is on the low side, but if you max out her passive ability, you get a mana gain of 2, so that gets you to the next breakpoint of 20, and you also get a crit damage increase of 50%, which is huge. And you only need to feed rare heroes from the same family to do that, so it's really easy to max out the passive and active abilities of 3 stars. Her main ability is gains increased defense for 4 turns and then deals damage to a single enemy. So learning these numbers is really important, and it just takes time, but doing damage based on 403% defense is big. If we look at a couple other heroes that deal damage in that same way, that are harder to get heroes, they're not even as high as that. So Sophia, who is an excellent hero, even with 10 tomes, only does 355. Granted, she has a lot more going on. She's doing decreased defense before the hit, so that's just the perk of a legendary hero, but the actual damage or the percentage is much higher on Ketra. And then if we look at another hero that doesn't have the decreased defense, Vigo, he's gaining increased defense and he's doing 360, and that's a hard hit. So over 400 is pretty wild. So she really stands apart there. And again, like I said, you can just feed some family members or some rare tomes, and you can easily max these things out, which is awesome. So you're gaining the survivability of her increased defense. She's a defense leader if you want to use it, or you can couple her with other heroes. So I think when you're using lower rarity heroes, you may need to work harder for the team synergy, like getting defense down from somewhere else, where Sophia can do that by herself. But you can get some really hard hits, and she is proof of that. Number 2 on this list, while we're talking about hard hitters, has to be Bavrik, I guess is how you say that. It's probably wrong, but he is a hero that's doing damage based on HP, which again is boosting survivability, so you're getting a double bonus from that, in my opinion. And he's going to do damage to a single enemy based on 42% of caster's max HP, and he's also going to ignore 20% defense, which is the same as having like 20% defense down, for example. So it can be hard if you're new to look at these and know whether 42% is high or whether it's low. But we can draw comparisons for other heroes in the same category. So if we look at who's in the same faction, I guess it's called, Torbjorn is one of the hardest hitters in the game. So if we look at what he is at max tomes, he's doing 45%, so only 3% more. But Bavrik is doing 20% defense down, or ignoring 20% of defense. So I would expect that's going to be definitely a harder hit. Then we want to look at the passives. They're both under 20 mana gain, so there's not a huge difference there. The stats at a given level are going to be a bit higher on a 4-star versus a 3-star, and also on a 5-star versus a 4-star. So you do get additive benefits as the rarity increases, but not to the point that you shouldn't use these heroes if that's what you have. And that's what I'm hoping to do, is to point out some heroes that you can use. So Torbjorn's passive is a bit better, which is resistance is increased by 130% when at 100% HP, and immune to stun. So one quick thought there is, he benefits from being at 100% HP, so if you can use a hero that has protective shield to keep his HP safe, then you can have that increased resistance up far more often. And then immune to stun is really nice. If we go back to Bavrik, who is here, his passive is not as good. Resistance is increased by 26%, which is pretty far from 130, but he's got mana gain increased by 2, which is really nice. That'll bring him up to 19, and the new update says that the caster set only gives +1% or +1 mana gain, but you only need 2 pieces to do it. So you can more easily get him to charging in 5 gemstones. You can get his damage almost as high as Torbjorn's, and then with this ignores 20% defense, it's probably going to be even higher. So definitely a hero you should look out for. I think Torbjorn had an HP of like 15,000 and he's 14,000, so pretty negligible difference. And I've not seen many people using him. If we look, there has been someone at the top of the leaderboard here, ranking, that has been using him. Yep. Boom. Number 3 on the leaderboard, using a rare hero with a bunch of legendaries. So this is a place you can go. Boom, another one. So this is happening recently. I think a lot of people are just now kind of figuring him out. So you can also, skim the leaderboard every once in a while to get some ideas, but definitely check him out because he is a rare hero that's absolutely worth maxing. Number 3 is Olaf. While Taunt in Gemstone Legends versus Empires and Puzzles is in ways not as good because it doesn't block AoE damage or AoE statuses, it's better in some ways because if you use a Taunt hero in Empires and Puzzles, since the tiles or the gemstones you don't aim them, they just hit whoever they're underneath, then you can still hit anyone with gemstones or tiles. In this game, you have to target who your gemstones are going to hit, and they can't hit anyone but the taunting hero. So he's going to gain taunt for 6 turns if you max him out, which again with rare heroes is pretty easy to do. He's also going to recover 20% HP at the start of his turn, which is pretty massive also. So one of the heroes that I've been enjoying most in this game is Alexander, and he's gaining taunt only for 5 turns at the most. He also gets increased defense and resistance. Those are just the perks that you get with a legendary hero. But to be able to have taunt at a really low cost and to max it out is really awesome. And his thing is a 35% chance to restore 10% HP whenever taking damage. And then Ogloff is restoring 20% HP at the start of his turn if you max out his skills. So not as good as Alexander, but you couldn't expect him to be. However, having taunt is really important, and this can be a big part of a successful raiding team. Because if you can charge him up, and he's got pretty good mana gain, then you can block a lot of damage for your team. And like I said earlier, you want to think more about who you're pairing him with. So since he doesn't gain increased defense and he'll be taking all that damage from taunt, then he might be good to pair with someone who can increase his defense. So keep that in mind. You'll have to be a little bit more thoughtful about your synergies, but being able to have taunt in your roster is super important. He does it quite well. He's also a defense leader. And yeah, just another great 3-star hero to have. So number 4 on the list is going to be a combination of 2 heroes in the same family, and that is the Field Medic family here that we're looking at. So I'd probably give a slight edge to Richard, but the 2 we're going to be looking at are Richard and Benedict. So good speed, great mana gain. He's a healer, maxed out, restores 19% of target's max HP to all allies, grants immunity for 3 turns. Immunity is really big in this game because cleansing or removing status ailments or negative status effects, the language varies between games, is difficult to do. There aren't heroes that just remove all negative statuses, so being able to block them outright is fantastic. And he can do that. And then also 5% decreased damage for every positive status affecting him, so that gives you some ideas for synergy. But being able to have this immunity to all allies in your roster is very important, and I highly recommend using Richard. Whether you take them all the way to 5 or 6 stars will depend on what your experience is with them on the way to that point, but I want to put these heroes on your radar so that you can level them up at least to 4 stars and start using them in some raids depending on where you're at in the game, and see what you think, because I think these are some great heroes to have, as I've been saying all along. And then the other one in this family is going to be, why does it keep going back there? Benedict, also a healer, restores 24% of target's max HP, which is a really, really big heal in this game. And then removes 1 negative status from all allies. So very similar to Guinevere, and I think she also only removes 1. We'll double check that in a second. Defense is increased by 5 for every 300 HP once you get this maxed out. So that tells you how you want to build him up with equipment. You want to go high on HP because it also gives you defense bonus at the same time. So if we look at Guinevere, who I think is in here, she is removing 1 status. So I could see her being 2 as a legendary, but the fact that she and Benedict both only remove 1 shows you what a valuable ability that is. And so he is definitely also one that I'd recommend having. Can really help out in the Phoenix Rift, or you can use Richard there as well for the immunity. So definitely check these guys out if you haven't already. Number 5 on the list is Nora, and you may be able to make an argument that I saved the best for last. It wasn't intentional, but what she offers is extremely strong for the rare level. So there are a few heroes in this game, including Sophia, a legendary, that can give decreased defense before hitting. So they apply the status and then they hit. And that's extremely valuable because it means not only can other heroes hit that defense down hero now, but it applies before the damage is dealt. So 100% chance to inflict decreased defense on a single enemy for 3 turns, and then deals damage once you get her maxed out based on 291% attack. It's not a massive amount, but the fact that these two things are linked together can make her a very strong damage dealer. You always want to think about with these heroes that having the color advantage is really important, so keep that in mind. You wouldn't want to use her for attacking greens, for example. She would not be strong for that. But she's got pretty good speed. She's got great mana gain. Her passive ability is attack is increased by 5% for every 10 accuracy. That is a really nice synergy. If we look at the main ability, 100% chance to inflict decreased defense. The way these statuses work is there are 2 checks. The first check is the percentage written there. So she passes that one every single time. The second check compares the accuracy of the attacker with the resistance of the one being attacked. And so this gives you an incentive to build her with a strong accuracy build, because for every 10% accuracy, you're getting more attack. You wouldn't want to go accuracy on everything, but maybe you'd use some accuracy armor, and then maybe, some crit damage gloves or attack boots, or I think you can get attack boots. But there is incentive for increasing her accuracy, both in terms of increasing her attack and also for a much higher chance of landing that defense down ailment. But yeah, that's pretty powerful to have at that level of mana gain. If we look at Sophia, she is, also she's based on defense, so it's a little bit different, but also 100% chance to inflict decreased defense on a single enemy for 3 turns before hitting. So you always expect legendaries to be stronger, but to have that ability for a rare hero is really good, and definitely make sure you check out Nora if you're in need of a good blue damage dealer. That is my list of 5 rare heroes that I think are worth your consideration. Hopefully you found this to be helpful. Again, if there are other heroes that you have used in the rare class that you think are good, definitely let me know. I didn't mention all of them. I wanted this video not to be super long, as my videos sometimes are, because I have too much that I want to say. But yeah, share your thoughts down below. There are obviously some really good rares that people know about, like Ultan. Can't think off the top of my head, but there are other rares that are used a lot. And I didn't want to cover those same ones. I wanted to aim for some ones that are maybe a little bit below the radar for some people as we still try to get this game figured out. So share your thoughts in the comments down below. I plan to do a video like this for epic heroes as well, because I think there are, again, some obvious choices, but some more lesser known epics that I think are really important. So I'll do a video like that as well. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss when that video comes out. Please leave a like on this video as well. It really helps out, and it's a free way for you to support the channel. If you want to check out Gemstone Legends, like I mentioned before, there is a download link and promo code in the description of this video. Not only can you help out the channel by using that download link, but you will get a bunch of free stuff for using that promo code. So it'll be a great boost in the game. You'll probably get some of these rares pretty quick, and now you know who to look out for in terms of being helpful additions to your roster. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.